Now we came down from this point from Port Mayaca last night right into this pocket right here behind Torrey Island, and it was good protection. It's buggy, so have your bug screens up if you use that one. Now today we've made the decision, since the big winds aren't supposed to hit until tonight, to go ahead and try and move. We've got 40 miles to move, and we've got good protection until we get in here. We've got some outside right in there, but we're going to try to move on up to Clewiston for sure, and Moorhaven if possible. Making my way out of the hyacinths coming out of the anchorage here. Torrey Island Bridge, the guy has to walk over from the fish camp and put the signs down by hand, and you may crank the bridge by hand, I understand. So this is a process. Sure enough, he's hand cranking that thing. A little stimulus money could be spent to update the bridge. Has the president sent you any stimulus money to put a motor on that thing?
That's funny.
As you go past some of these structures, these are hurricane gates. Lake Okeechobee killed 3,000 plus people in the 30s when it washed up over the bank during a hurricane. And what they try to do is relieve the pressure of the flow.
Northeast winds around 25 knots with gusts to around 30 knots. Lake water's very rough. Saturday night, northeast winds 20 to 25 knots. Lake water's rough. Sunday, east winds 20 to 25 knots. Lake water's rough. Sunday night, east winds 20 to 25 knots. Lake water's rough. Monday, east winds 20 knots becoming 15 to 20 knots. Lake water's rough becoming choppy in the afternoon.
Quite a distance between Reed Island and Clewiston. The chart is going to indicate open water, but thankfully it's not that way. We do at least have some sawgrass coming up that gives some wind protection, at least thankfully for us today, because it's rough out there. Doesn't look like Uncle Joe's made it past the hurricane, but we're gonna go to the left now. The straight across route would head right on out into the lake. I don't know if you can tell it, but the wind's got us canted over quite a bit here coming into Moorhaven. This is what it looks like. The final stretch here westbound. When you get to Moorhaven, you've got a spillway, and then your second entrance is going to be the lock. And we're going to try a port wall today. We got a pretty good wind going in. He said just get it on a wall, so that was nice. Couldn't do a lot of filming in that wind. We were busy, but that's the Moorhaven lock for you. Eastbound wind, you have to be very, very cautious, because it's easy to start getting turned around in there. We were very, very busy in that lock. Up this way was the marina that I camped at in the Intracoastal series, but I see it's gone. Now this is the city docks. Now coming out of Moorhaven, we're going to have some long straight stretches. Here's the Hippacoochee Lodge. And there's the Ortona Lock. Now we're probably going to be busy in here, so this might be the last footage of it. We've got a strong wind. He's closing the lock doors here at Ortona. This is another big lock like the one in St. Lucie. Accommodate a lot of boats. See all kinds of boats down these waterways. There we go. He's opening up the lock. Freddie is ready to go. We'll get our green light up here in just a minute. Tail end Charlie, but here we go. Coming close to getting some white caps on right on the intercoastal today. It's been, I'm sure if anyone's out on the lake, they're having quite a time. And we're coming around the corner in here to LaBelle. Now this is looking east. We've come through the bridge. We carried 26 feet going through there. To your right across the river, that is the town docks where you can tie up. And where we are is the LaBelle boat ramp. And you're limited in stay here, probably on the weekends it applies. But we've tied up here and used the park for the dog, and then I went over to the bait store and got some fishing worms, because it is excellent fishing through here. Now what you're looking at in the distance is the Fort Denard Bridge. It's just called Denard today. But 170 years ago, this was an active theater of military operations. You had a number of forts along this stretch. You had Fort Denard, you had a fort opposite. And I'm not sure if the bridge is actually located at the site of Fort Denard, or if it was on one of these. I'd always thought it would be on one of these little turnoffs or cutouts where the fort locations would be, but it may well be where the present bridge is today, but some investigating could turn up the site of that old fort. There were a number of them through here over to all the way to Lake Okeechobee.
Because it's very windy over here, and the bridge will swing open and hit your boat. Once I secure the bridge, I'll be calling you back.
It's Fort Denard Bridge. Very windy today, so they're having some trouble getting it open. Sawed up this little creek here would be another possible location for the other fort. If you got something like a sea dory or something like that, I have stayed at this little park. That overhanging tree, though, would clear our canvas off the superstructure on this trawler. Now we got the bridge here at Alva. That was the Alva Bridge looking east. Now it's 3:30, close enough to 4 o'clock where we shut down, and we're gonna simply pull over in one of these cuts after the Alva Bridge and fish the lily pads. You don't see a trawler bass fishing often, but that's exactly what we're gonna do. Captain Connie's going to work on our bass. Anytime we're going through Shreveport, we pick up about 10 pounds of this. That's the favorite mix for fish and hush puppies, and that's what the fish looks like. When we're on the road, we simply take some cut okra, canned cut okra, and there's nothing to do but simply meal it with our mix, and it's ready to fry.